thinking about how we define growth today, particularly as the world continues to change at an escalating rate, one of the things that's been really interesting with our clients lately is that growth has really started to mean growth of particular areas, right? So there's been a lot of focus for, say, our auto clients on, growth of combustion engines versus EV, and making sure that we focus on that. There's things like for our retail clients, balancing online and offline growth of sales at the same time. And what that's sort of meant is that more than ever, we have a role in thinking about how does the entire owned, earned, shared, and paid landscape all work together, right? So we really need to be coordinators of that for our clients and make sure that doesn't all get so siloed away from each other. I think there was kind of an era lately where we broke things apart into more and more discrete pieces. And what's happening now is that as clients really want to make sure that they're driving that nuanced view of growth, they need to bring all of that back together kind of into one space. So that's been really exciting as we think about how to help clients drive growth and what that means as a growth strategy officer.
Great. Well, as a growth strategy officer, I feel like there's a kind of therapist role embedded in your job.
Mm-hmm,
so
definitely.
So with that in mind, how are you counseling clients who are trying to understand the value of brand in an era of so much readily available performance data?
Yeah, I think it's been very public, right, that some brands have started to push back towards that view of true brand building, right? Nike has done it very publicly over the last year of thinking about, what does it mean to better balance brand and performance. Obviously, we don't want to walk away from all the great data that performance has, but we do want to make sure that we're sort of doing a better job thinking about brand. And what that means as, a therapist / growth strategist is helping clients with the fact that brand metrics take much longer to build, right? So you have to have the confidence and patience to get there. And that means that as their partners, we need to be in there with them saying, like, this is how I can, prove to you that this metric is eventually going to move. It's not going to move in that same day-to-day way that a lot of performance metrics used to move. And I think that's a little bit uncomfortable for all of us right now, but we do sort of need to break into that space. And so our role as agency partners is really making sure that we give clients all the defense they might need in order to be able to feel that confidence.
So in trying to spread that confidence and that sense of certainty in an uncertain world, another role I think of you is tech evangelist, AI evangelist, even. So with that in mind, how is AI transforming media planning, and where do you see the biggest opportunities?
Yeah, I think the big opportunity, honestly, is helping clients in harnessing the data that they need to make AI powerful, right? AI is not really going to feel very distinctive in its solutions for clients if we aren't distinctive in the information that we give it, right? It's only as good as the information it has. If all you're giving a large language model is the same information that everybody else has, then you're not going to feel true impact of that. You're going to feel like, wow, my efforts to build my brand look exactly like everybody else's efforts to build my brand. And so I think we really have a critical role with clients in helping them to feel confident that the data that they're pulling in is unique to them, that we're using it in unique ways, that we're asking systems unique questions, and really just making sure that we help them continue to get ready for a world where AI is going to be increasingly relied upon. I do think there's kind of a second element to that, right, which is that, yes, we have to help with harnessing the data. We also have to help with even just curating that data a little bit. Again, if you kind of think about what we were saying about brand and performance, how do we make sure that the right information is going in there, and that we're not just allowing ourselves to kind of be taken over by a sea of data, but that we're giving truly, informed inputs to AI.
So to get those informed inputs, as you said, it kind of requires the human element. So, when it comes to initiatives more junior talent, how are you getting them ready for the agency's next chapter?
Yeah, I think there's actually something really important that we need to do with junior talent. Obviously, they need to be comfortable using AI. I was in a meeting a few weeks ago where I joked that, with AI, you probably need to start to envision a future where it's like the way you treat Word or Excel, right? Where it's something you're just very confident in that you're going in every day. But I think there's sort of a layer to that of, the volume of performance data we've had for the past, let's say, decade or so has made it so that there's a lot of opportunity to be behind that data, right? To say like, oh, well, I informed this decision with XYZ data points. AI is going to take over a lot of that work. And that means for you to add value, you need to be somebody who can speak with authority to give context that AI can't provide, right? AI can spit out an answer, but it can't say like, what should we do with that answer? How should we move forward? And so helping junior talent to maybe be confident in a world that actually looks different than even the world I developed in, right? Where, I had a lot of data and I could say like, well, because of XYZ data point, we're doing XYZ thing. I think teams need to be confident with the fact that they're going to have to be the ones who maybe push a little bit harder on the recommendation coming from AI, and maybe that is coming from a place that's a little bit more qualitative, a little bit more opinion-based. And helping junior talent be confident with that, I think, is the only way we're going to help them to really grow a career.
So with the idea that you have all this access to amazing depths of data and tools, if you had only one thing to highlight, this is a tough one, but if there's only one thing you could highlight for one big growth opportunity for brands in the next, say, 2-3 years, what would it be?
Yeah, I think I've said it already, but being confident with your data, knowing all the data you have access to and curating that into whatever, AI or other technology platforms you're going to use is very critical. I think if there's one additional thing that I would highlight to clients, it's that things like formats are going to keep changing, right? You're already seeing that search is being impacted by AI and display assets are being impacted by AI. And that means that you're going to need to be confident with making some very fast decisions. And that I think getting that confidence and being okay with that now in a world where maybe not as much change has occurred just yet is really critical. I think kind of building that confidence in this moment is going to really unlock something valuable 2 years, 3 years down the line. Because what's going to happen is that teams that are uncomfortable with making those quick decisions moving forward more quickly are going to see growth start to stagnate because other people are going to have taken those opportunities.